Good day, viewers, friends, and family. My name is Okezie Michael. In today's episode, we want to explain further some of the claims we made in the video we made yesterday, where we made it clear that when someone lives in a place like Lagos and has a monthly income of 200,000 naira, and after the monthly deductions of transportation, feeding, and accommodation, may have very little for savings or for investment when compared with yet another person who lives in a smaller town and who has made half of that monthly income. That is 100,000 naira. This individual, after deduction of the same expenses for transportation, accommodation, and feeding, the individual who comes from a smaller town may obviously have more money for savings and for investment as against this individual who lives in Lagos and who hustle harder and yet has little to show for it. So in this video, I'm going to talk about how the money goes. That is, I'm going to give an analysis of the range of cost of accommodation in Lagos as well as cost of feeding, so you can be able to relate to the facts we presented yesterday in that video. Now, one of the things you need to understand is that in a place like Lagos, there are different forms of accommodation. There are different forms of neighborhood. So where I live, for example, is where I actually want to talk about. I don't want to talk about where accommodations go for as high as a one-bedroom flat goes for as much as 1 million naira and above, and a two-bedroom flat goes for as much as 2 million naira and above. But where I live, in the part of Lagos where I live, that is Lekki Phase 3, a one-room apartment, that is a room with a private kitchen and a private toilet and bedroom, goes for 300,000 naira rent. And a one-bedroom flat, that is popularly called a room and a parlor self-contained, goes for 500,000 naira rent. And a two-bedroom flat goes for 800,000 naira and above, and a three-bedroom flat goes for 1 million naira and above rent. Now, the same accommodation, in fact, bigger accommodations you can get in a place like, let me be specific with Umuahia, which is the capital of Abia State. Now, if you live in a town in Umuahia, you will definitely agree with me that a one-room apartment, that is a room self-contained, goes for the range of 100,000 naira to 130,000 naira on an average. And a one-bedroom flat, that's a room and a parlor self-contained, goes for 180,000 naira on an average. And a two-bedroom flat goes for 250,000 naira on an average. And a three-bedroom flat goes for 350,000 naira on an average. Now, if you live in a place like Lagos and your monthly income is 200,000 naira, now I want to assure you that you definitely cannot afford a two-bedroom flat because of the cost. Because it's going to take you almost 5 months of your salary to be able to pay the rent, which is obviously not realistic because you have other expenses to cater for. Now, let's assume that you're able to afford a one-bedroom flat, which is a room and a parlor self-contained with your family. That's if you have a family. It's going to take you 2.5 months of your salary, that's going by 200,000 naira per month, to afford a one-bedroom flat. That is a room and a parlor self-contained. So definitely, you have to downsize your living space if you must live in a place like Lagos. Let's compare that with someone who lives specifically at Umuahia and has a monthly income of just 100,000 naira, assumed, because that is just an assumption. Because a lot of persons that I know at Umuahia and other towns that I've been to, that I've lived, earns higher income than many persons who flocks around Lagos State. But let's just assume that this individual has a monthly income of 100,000 naira. I want to assure you that he can still afford a two-bedroom flat for 250,000 naira using his 2.5 months income. So 2.5 months of his monthly income can pay for the rent of a two-bedroom flat. So definitely he's going to have more living space to enjoy himself and his family than this individual who has doubled or tripled his hustle and who lives in Lagos and makes, for example, assuming makes 200,000 naira and yet cannot afford a two-bedroom flat, cannot afford the same living space like this individual who is coming from a town. That is just on one side. Now let's talk about feeding cost in cities as against the towns and in the rural places. Now, for most of the rural places that I've lived and I've been to, a standard plate in a restaurant goes for 300 naira. That is either swallow or rice with stew and beef. And after consuming the plate of food, if you decide to take extra, you may end up spending 500 naira and you'll be filled. And in many towns where I've lived and where I've been to, a standard plate of food goes for 500 naira. And if after consuming the plate and you decide to take extra, you may end up spending 7 to 800 naira and you'll be filled. Now, in a part of Lagos where I live, a standard plate of food goes for 1,000 naira to 1,200. And if you decide to, after finishing the food, if you decide to order for extra, you will definitely be spending 1,500 to 1,700. And you may not be filled. So look at the difference. Somebody is spending 500 naira at the end of the day, at the end of a meal, and you're filled and you're happy. Another person is spending 800 naira at the end of a meal and you're happy, you're satisfied. Another person is spending 1,500 to 1,000, sometimes even 2,000 naira, and yet you're not filled. That is the reality with city life. So these are the facts that you need to consider when making such a move. In fact, I have this particular experience. There was this particular day I was very hungry and I walked into a restaurant and I ordered for a plate of food, two extra beef and bottled water. And the total cost was 2,700. The plate of food was 1,500. The two extra beef, each of them not bigger than half of this my finger, was 500 naira each. That's 1,000 naira plus the 1,500 for the plate of food. That's 2,500 naira, and then the bottled water 200 naira. Everything was 2,700. And after taking the food, I realized that I was still hungry. That is, within myself, I was still hungry, and I was about to order for extra when I had to tell myself, with 2,700 gone, how much extra will I order before I get filled? And I definitely realized that I'm not in Lagos to eat food. Because if you actually out to eat food, if you want to eat good meal, you definitely will not be in Lagos. I want to assure you that in many of the towns that I've been to, if you can afford to spend in a restaurant 1,000 naira to 1,200 naira for food, you will definitely be so filled that you may find it difficult to stand up immediately after taking the meal. Yes, that's the reality. You can ask, you can verify. So the fact is that if you are contemplating moving down to Lagos because of affordable accommodation, I am very sorry you have missed your way. Or if you are contemplating moving down to Lagos because of affordable food, I am very sorry you have definitely missed your road. In fact, I don't even want to talk about the area of fruits because an orange I can buy for 300 naira in a place like Abia State, for example. A pineapple I can buy for 400 naira, watermelon that I can buy for 400 naira, everything put together for 1,100 naira. If I should buy them in Lagos, I'll be needing as much as 3 to 4,000 naira to buy the same quantity. And yet, the quality of these fruits I may get here, most of the nutrients may have been gone. Why? Because it must have taken days for the fruits to be harvested and to be transported down to Lagos. It must have also taken a day or two for the market women who are closer to me to be able to go to the market and buy them and come to resell. Therefore, I will definitely end up spending much more to buy these fruits and yet the value will be so reduced. As against buying them at a place like Abia State, for example, where they will be so fresh coming from the farm and you will definitely enjoy them. So these are the harsh realities on ground. The fact is that you definitely might not know what you have until you lose it. So take your time, think it through. If it is what's coming down, if it is what the move, please take such a move in good faith. But if you're not, then I want to assure you that you may be doing yourself much good if you have decided to stay back and do the right thing within your environment. And finally, if you haven't subscribed to our channel, Life Experience TV, please do so right away. And like these videos, share them with other people. You just don't know who may find this content of great value. And remember that this is not the last on this episode. In the next episode tomorrow, we'll be discussing the subject which says you don't need to live in the city to be financially successful. All you need to do is to critically analyze and examine the area where you currently reside and identify the problems, the challenges that people within your area are currently experiencing, and then profile the right kind of solution. Think of the kind of things you would do, the kind of technology, the kind of services that you will render that could solve those problems, those challenges. And when you're able to do so, I guarantee you, you will be financially successful. You will make as much money that you desire. Thank you.